everybody, good morning. I know I look awful, but I have the apartment to myself today, so I wanted to try reading a book in one day. I tried to keep it realistic, especially because I haven't been reading lately because of quarantine. So I picked books that I think I could actually finish. First is A Fish in Exile. I don't know what it's about. Apparently I picked it up at the Strand because I have a little tag here. It's about 200 pages. I'll check it out, see if I can finish it. If that fails, I have this book, which is called Usual Monsters. This one I actually picked up at Comic-Con, and I'm pretty excited about it. There was a little booth where they were selling a bunch of different horror books, and I picked up a couple. This is supposed to be a psychological horror. I'm excited. The people there were absolutely lovely, so if not this, then this, and hopefully this is good. Alright guys, wish me luck. Hi guys, so I've taken a bit of a scrub and I've decided I am going to be reading Usual Monsters. Let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about Usual Monsters. This book was written by Trevor Firetog, and because I picked this up at, I believe, Comic-Con, I met him. He is a very lovely man. He actually signed this book here for me. It was very sweet. And I mean, on the cover it says a monstrous debut, so I'm not sure if this is one of the first books that he ever wrote. It's definitely more like a short story than a book. It's only 56 pages. Actually saying reading a book in a day and then reading a short story feels like big time cheating, but I wanted to do something with you guys, just us, you know. We have the apartment to ourselves, just us, and then still have time to play video games, so gotta compromise. Impressions are still very, very new, but we're going to try and not be as disorganized as the last video. We're gonna do the usual format here where I don't really say too much about the plot of the story, mostly because this writer still seems kind of new. I would really encourage you to just go out and read his books. They're really cheap. You can find them on Amazon. I looked them up. A lot of them are available on Kindle. They're short, they're interesting. Definitely check it out. So we're just gonna talk about like general concepts that I liked, and maybe some ideas in the story that I thought were done well, some things that I wish were done differently. Not that I'm speaking from any place of authority. But we talk about books here. That's what we do. We talk about books. So, things that I like. I really like the concept. This book features an unreliable narrator, and that's my favorite type of narrator. I love a narrator that I cannot trust 110%, especially if they can't trust themselves, which is a big part of this story. I like the scenes that involve action or movement. Any scene where the character is sort of in motion and has a clear point that they're driven towards is a good scene. It's fleshed out very well. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going. Those are scenes that felt very real, very well done, sort of thought through very cohesively. I liked the descriptions used in the book, especially for the monsters. I thought they were sort of really vivid and really interesting, and they all kind of had their own personality, which is very nice. I really liked that. It was a very good touch. This book it gave me like a kind of nostalgic feeling for my writing classes when I was back in college. Mostly because like the cardinal rule of writing when you first start writing is show don't tell, or wait, yeah, show don't show don't tell. See, that's why I'm not a writer, because I forget all the rules. In the beginning of this book, I felt like I was being told a lot of information. And to the writer's credit, this book had to establish a lot very quickly. I actually would have really loved if this was just like a full-length novel. I think there are a lot of interesting ideas that could have been fleshed out more, and I didn't get to know the character as well as I should have, which made it very difficult to invest in her. I felt a lot of the times that I was being told what the character was feeling, and it was happening. It happened once in between like two sentences where I was like a little like whiplashed. The character had felt relief and then fear, but I had been told that she felt relief and fear in a moment. And I know that's really hard to do in writing, like a flip of feelings, but it didn't feel natural. It felt like I was being told, okay, now she's relieved and now she's scared again. I didn't really like that. This book had like a patchy start. I would say there was a lot of descriptive terms used to sort of establish a lot of exposition, and I don't think that's necessarily, I'm not gonna put that on the writer too much because I think this was meant to be a short story, but I would really like to see it sort of stretched out, and you know, it seems like there was a lot of love here, and I'd really like to see more of that love and sort of put into this and put into a novel. But I digress. I didn't like the ending. It didn't feel earned. This is hard to talk about without divulging too much about the book. Because of the characters' inability to be trusted and their inability to trust themselves, they make decisions based on that and based on their situation that, once again, I feel like if they were fleshed out and we sort of saw this going through the book, a sort of running theme of like, I don't know if I can trust this force that's in my life or if I should be rebelling against it, I think that would be really interesting. But because it happened within like 56 pages, it kind of seems like abrupt. Building off that, there was a scene of critical information was given, and once again it felt really abrupt, and it was jarring, and it was alluded to a little bit in the beginning of the book, but it wasn't threaded through enough where it was like you could put it together as a running theme. And then on the flip side of that, it would be like concepts that you were sort of bonked over the head with. So I feel like more balance as to like what is, some things more subtle, some things a little bit more push out there could have really helped this story. Once again, short story. You have to do a lot in a little bit of text, and that's difficult. Once again, if this is a debut short story, I feel kind of rotten pulling it apart at the edges. This clearly was like so made with love. It has such original concepts in it. I really like it, but I definitely think like going forward, I'd like to see the writer sort of tighten up their work and maybe use more active descriptives for the movement of the character and what they're doing, because the middle of the book was the strongest book. I keep saying book. The middle of the story was the strongest part of the story. When the character was in action and they were moving and there was like a kind of a clear goal and they were very driven, you sort of felt what they were going through. And I couldn't even tell you honestly if the writer was making the same mistakes because I was so invested in the movement of the character and where they were going. But on either side of the fringes of the story, the beginning where they're setting things up or the end where they're sort of winding down, I can sort of feel that clunkiness, which I don't really like, because I think like in the beginning and the end, there's like a sort of lack of direction, or just like the character doesn't have as much to do and there's more establishing. That might just be me. overall, I really like this book. I really like the short story. You can get it on Kindle for really cheap. If you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. If you like psychological horrors and unreliable narrators, it's definitely worth like a quick run through. It took me like maybe an hour to read and some change. If you're a fast reader, you'll go through this in a second. He's also been featured in a couple of other anthology short stories, horror usually. So if that's more your groove, I would definitely check those out because you'll get more bang for your buck. But that's it. If you like this video and you want me to actually read a book in a day, let me know and I will see if I can make that happen, or at the very least I will document the process as much as I can and let you know where I end. I ran out of space on my phone, sorry. That is why we are rocking the bun again. I know I cheated on this one a little bit, but I had a really fun time doing it, and I wanted to sort of just do an older video, just you and me sitting down talking about a book that at least one of us has read. But that's it for right now. I will see you guys next time, and if you have any recommendations for books that you want me to check out, please let me know. Bye!